Coach Davy here. Welcome to Straight Facts, courtesy ENT, BIA Media.
Straight Facts, back at it again.
Currency ENT TV presenting to you Straight Facts.
Coach Davy in the cut, you know what I mean?
Okay.
The kids call him Coach Davy, you know
All
what I
right.
mean? But the big dogs, we just call him Davy, you know what I mean? Davy, welcome to Straight Facts, you know?
Appreciate it, man.
Welcome.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So I think, the most common theme here is, you know what I mean, not to leave you out, but, Algonquin alumni, you know what I mean? No big deal, you know what I mean? Bronze medal nationalist, you know what I mean? In the building, you know what I mean? We also got a national champion coach assistant in the building, you know what I mean? I think that, Davey, thanks for making it out here on Space Facts. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So, Davey, I gotta ask you, growing up in Ottawa, what do you think the basketball scene you grew up, playing at, what's that school's name again?
Franco Cité.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wow, Franco Cité.
Yeah.
Who went there? What kind of ballers went there? Outside of you, because when I think of Franco Cité, I think you're the greatest baller that ever came out of that building. But, you know what I mean? Who else that played ball came out of there?
We had a few guys too, right? It wasn't
This
just
guy said a few. Oh,
we had a few, probably 2 or 3. My 2 guys over there.
Oh, I mean, Montesino certified?
Alright.
Manny Fresh?
Man, that was my guy, man.
That's your certification right there.
Oh, Manny Fresh. That's a St. Luke legend right there. You know what I mean? Street ball legends.
Yeah.
But you know what? But from there, that's not a big school. Let's be honest. That's not Gloucester High School. You know what I mean? That's not a St. Pat's. You know what I mean? Like it's not a Semi-G.
Yeah.
It's not a Louis Riel. So what was it like being the underdog?
I mean, you know what? It was pretty fun, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, moving from Montreal, just walking through that school. I didn't know which one was which, right? I didn't know like if Franco was a good school or not, right? Just walked in, and these guys embraced me, right? So we were pretty much having fun. Obviously, we're playing tier 2, so we're just pretty much destroying everyone. But you know what? It was still
What a humble way of saying you're getting buckets. Wow.
But we're still having fun, man. Obviously, it wasn't one of those big schools, but you know what? We had our fun, man.
But coming from Montreal, like that's a different kind of beast, right? Because Montreal, it's a small town. Like literally, Montreal is the size of like Orleans. You know what I mean? Maybe like Orleans and Saint Laurent. Like you know what I mean? Like in terms of like seriously, but like it's the population of like Ottawa plus a bit of Toronto.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like there's so much population density. So what was it like growing up in that jungle of Montreal, the 514, La Belle Province? You know what I mean?
It was honestly at first it's kind of different, man. Because back in my time, it was like a lot of the beef, bloods, Crips, those different colors, right? So it was pretty crazy. It was crazy, man. Honestly, sports was probably the best way for us to stay out of trouble, right? So again, I'm really happy that my parents kind of kicked me. Like, they kept us grounded, right? So basketball definitely helped.
Shouts out Mom and Papa Davy, you know what I mean? If it wasn't for you, Algonquin would not have gotten that bronze national championship. Got a great individual right here. I mean, and then so from there, Franco, you came in from Montreal. Ottawa's different, especially when you played high school basketball, and especially if you're playing tier 2. And if I know anything about when you were a hooper, you looked up to KB24/8. So, and your game was very much marked after his game. So, what are your thoughts on Kobe and how he impacted you personally in your game of basketball?
Honestly, first of all, rest in peace, Kobe, man. It's still very surreal.
And Gigi.
I still don't believe it, right?
Yeah.
To be honest. And well, obviously, like back in the day, I used to rock the fro. I had the little armband.
You still rock the 2-4 on your chest when you
Still.
won that bronze national
Still.
championship. I just gotta let the people know this was not a game.
Yeah, till this day, man. Obviously, Kobe was a big part of my game, right? I really looked up to, his game, the way he was moving, his mannerism, everything, man. I tried to be like him because to me, he was like the greatest player at that time, right? So again, Kobe definitely changed my game.
To this day?
He helped me. Till this day, he helped me out, and obviously, I'm always gonna be grateful for him, always.
So, Zoe, I'm gonna swing it over to you. I apologize.
No, it's all good,
I get excited. I get excited when
Yeah.
fellow Algonquin alumni are in the cut. You know what I mean? And national champion coaches in the building. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Carleton winning that, was it a 1-point game versus Alberta in Alberta?
Yeah.
For the win to make it to nationals? I mean, come on, like that was probably the most exciting game I've ever watched as a basketball fan on my little screen at the house, just going crazy. My wife and my daughter, like, what's going on down there? But anyway, so I'm letting it back to you.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Coach Davy. So yeah, tell us, first of all, how did you get the assistant coaching position at Carleton?
Honestly, to me, it's all about who you know, right?
Okay.
Nowadays,
Not
it's
what
all
you
about-
know, it's about who you know.
Exactly, right? So again,
That's
it
your
was
facts.
the way it happened was kind of weird, right? I didn't expect it. I just got hired at La Cité as a men's head basketball coach. And then a month later, I get a call from a Carleton alumni. He's like, "Yo, Davy, are you looking at coach?" I'm like, "What? Coach where?" It's like, "Carleton." I'm like, "What? Really?"
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure, right? So then I got a call from the bossman himself, Dave Smart, right? So
Shouts out Dave Smart, by the
That's
way.
right there,
The
Canada basketball, right
all-time winningest head coach in Canadian basketball history. I just want to let you guys know, from right here in Ottawa, Ontario, he started the Guardsman basketball program, which now is Ottawa Elite. He is very instrumental on laying the groundwork and foundation for the Ottawa basketball we have today, and very much so responsible for Ottawa holding the most national championships out of any other city or program in the nation. But back to you, Zoe. I apologize
That's
for
very
taking the
fast,
spotlight.
man. That's why we're here. We're telling the people what's going on about it. So yeah. So Coach Davy, on top of that, like now that you're an assistant coach, what is like your philosophy that you would apply to your players and your methods?
honestly, just telling kids, you gotta play, you gotta compete, you gotta play hard, right? Because I think that's something that kids nowadays lack right now, just like, competing, playing hard. I think everything right now is given, not earned.
Okay.
So I think that's the main thing for me, just to make sure that guys always compete, guys always play hard. So,
But you got dogs on your team. Aiden Warnholtz, Canada, Ontario's very own, 3-1 on the chest. Canada top flight alumni,
Yeah.
national champion in his prep year. I mean, this kid is crazy good. You know what I mean? You got guys like Alain Louis. You know what I mean? He was the finals MVP. Alain Louis, the lefty. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then you guys got real dogs. You guys got, man, the list goes on and on. You guys had Sleepy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Von Road, Sleepy
my God.
in the building. Shouts out Sleepy 2-3 on the chest. That's my dog right there. I mean, you guys got so many players on your team. Biniam, Gebrekinen, you know what I mean? Like from right across the road, QC. You know what I mean? Like he was a Griffon alumni. Got to know Griffon. Shouts out the Griffons. You know what I mean? Great program out there. But
Yeah.
you guys got real dogs and competitors on your team as well too. Like kids who, in my opinion, are real competitive. They're dogs.
I mean, you know what? Carleton's not for everyone, right? A lot of people
not.
see like all the championships, like, oh, I want to be part of that culture. But again, it's not for everyone. You gotta work hard,
Okay.
right? You gotta want it, and that's what it is, right? That's why we get dogs, because we make sure that we're recruiting the right guys, right? We want the right guys for our program, and that's how we're successful, right? Because we get guys that are all on the same page, guys who want to compete, and that's why we're good.
And then basically, like you're saying with your coaching file, you said that you want players to play hard, right? So what is the differences that you see with the way that you played, like back in your time in high school, and coaching these new players? Like for example, you said that everything is given. So how do you deal with a high school player that was a star and they try to come to Carleton and act like the program is designed for them? So how do you do with those?
You're a Carlson, man. The program is never designed for you. You know what I mean? You got to find your fit in the program. Nah, come on. You got to know these things. Come on. Hey, but go ahead, Dave. I'm going to let you get into this before I get too into this. Jeez.
I mean, you know what? The thing is, again, Carleton is just, we make sure you get the right guys, right? So obviously, before, recruiting guys, we make sure we know everything, right? So we go see their games and make sure we recruit the right way. And again, we just don't, obviously the head coach, Taffy Charles, he does, and Dave Smart.
You guys have a black head coach. Let me just,
Yes.
before we get into this,
Yes.
Taffy Charles is an Ottawa native who played at Carleton.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's not just a coach. You know what I mean? Like he played at Carleton and a black head coach. Shouts out Taffy Charles. Very instrumental on paving the way for future black head coaches. But go ahead.
But yeah, and speaking of Taff, you know what? He's been at Carleton for 32 years.
Yes, sir.
32 years as a player, as an
Women's,
assistant coach.
he brought the first national championship trophy to the women's program.
Yeah.
The women's basketball program. As prominent as it is right now, Taffy helped bring that from where it was to where it is.
Yeah.
Just want to give that quick shout out to Taffy, but go ahead.
Pretty big. So yeah, so obviously those guys like Taffy and they know the type of players that we want in our program, right? So again, kind of makes it easy because again, like nowadays, we can tell who wants it, who doesn't, right? So again, when it comes to recruiting high school kids, we kind of know. And again, Carleton is not really for guys coming straight out of high school unless they're really talented, right? So most of the guys, they tend to do like redshirt year, so you don't play the whole year, you just train. So for most of the guys, it works out, right? Because our best player, player of the year, he was a redshirt his first year. He ended up getting Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, and now...
You talking about number 41?
Lloyd Pandy.
Lloyd Pandy?
Lloyd Pandy, yeah.
Ashbury alumni?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just asking.
So again, that's what it is, right? So again, the high school scene now is so different from like way back, right? I feel like us, in our time, we're mentally tougher. We're outside playing, man. So obviously, we're tough.
Yeah.
Right, but kids now, again, it's just like, they're so entitled. They think that, oh, you know what, a 2-3 minute mixtape makes them a good player. But you know what, it takes more than that, right? So
what do you think has evolved from basketball in your time and with today's games? Like you mentioned that we used to play outside. So
the
what are the differences that you see? Like for example, do kids play in 21 anymore? Do they just work on their skills? Like what is different about the way that you grew up playing basketball and then how is it today?
I think the big difference now is social media.
Okay.
Right? Us, we didn't have that. We're just having fun. We're outside playing all day, right?
Yeah.
Until sundown. So, and even 21 right now, I told some of the kids, yo, you guys want to play 21? Like, what? I lost it. I just laughed. I walked out. I'm like, man, come on, man.
They don't even know.
So they don't know. They don't know, right? So again, I know it's kind of like the old man rant right now, but I guess it's just again, kids don't know.
We're big dogs now. You know what I mean? That's the
Exactly,
difference.
right?
We're big dogs now.
So it's a big difference now, man. Big difference. So again, I feel like now, I think they have more tools to be successful.
Okay.
That's the big difference.
Okay.
I don't think there would be more skill. Probably more skill because I have more coaches, more tools. But again, I don't think they're as competitive as we were.
So you think there's a lacking of mental toughness?
Big time.
Okay.
Big
So
time.
how do you instill that in players then?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough. Honestly, to me, it all depends on your environment, right? I think the environment does a big thing, right? So, again, a lot of kids, especially as being in the, working in school, a lot of kids are, parents are always on them, they're soft with them, and I think that creates kids with a lot of they're entitled.
Yes.
Right? So that's a big difference.
Okay.
But the big thing about Carleton recruiting, like you said, you guys look into the character of the individual you're recruiting, right? So you already know if you're going to bring someone on to the Carleton Ravens program, that there's certain qualities and characteristics you want. So to follow that up, what type of qualities and characteristics would you say to a young player watching this podcast that might be 14, 15 in grade 9, 10, 11, 12, that potentially would love the opportunity to play for the reigning national champion Carleton Raven program? What kind of things would you be looking for as an assistant coach when you're looking at a potential player to play for your team?
First of all, I would say school is really important, right? Because a lot of kids right now, they just they think, oh, I'll play ball, make it to the league, and honestly, no, you're not, right?
No.
Especially if you're 6'2" and you're post, that's not happening, right? And honestly, I'm not trying to, destroy kids' dream, but again, that's what it is, right? But what I would tell kids right now, just make sure you hold yourself accountable, right? If you want to be serious, you got to train. You got to train, you got to compete, right? And you got to do a research, right? So again, make sure that you're surrounded by the right people. Not people are going to tell you what you want to hear, right? So again, it's all about character. We make sure we got guys that are mentally tough, because again, it's not an easy environment, right? So I will tell kids, listen, man, just work hard.
Yeah.
Work hard. Make sure you're mentally prepared. All right, and that's pretty much it right now.
So working hard, diving for loose balls, strapping up on defense, getting offensive and defensive rebounds, running in transitions, setting hard screens.
I think, and the last thing is pride. I think a lot of kids don't have pride right now. It's just I think they're all friends, so they're like, oh, this guy, he beats me up the dribble, it's fine. But back in our day, we're like, no, you're not scoring on me, right? It's not happening, right? So I think there's a lot of kids are missing pride right now, and that's a big thing, right? So again, it's pride.
And Davey, I think one thing which is, which I forgot to kind of ask us previously is, yes, as a national championship, assistant coach at Carleton, what type of dreams do you have for yourself as a coach? Would you like to potentially coach down south, D1, get that opportunity to eventually try that? Or would you like to eventually coach in the league, coach in Europe, maybe get a nice coaching job in Spain where there's sun and beach, work on that tan? What type of things are you looking for in your, in your future, in a perfect world?
It's honestly, to me, I feel like sky's the limit, right? Beautiful. I think I can just right now I'm aiming big. If
like
I
it.
can make it overseas, get a nice job, it'll be awesome, right? It'll be great because again, like I never thought coaching would be, would make that big of an impact in my life, and honestly, it changed my life. So obviously, being able to coach like overseas, even be on the NBA roster, that'll be awesome, right? Because again, as a coach, it's a never-ending learning process.
Roy Rana,
Yeah.
Ryerson Rams head coach, assistant coach for the Sacramento Kings, and working his way around the league. Also, you have the head coach of the Lakehead, you got Scott Morrison, working his way with the Red Claws successfully, and then eventually working his way into the Celtics program, and now in the NBA. So it's really it's the opportunities there. From that bridge from being a Canadian coach to getting that opportunity to work in the United States in the NBA. So Davy, more power to you, and we love to see it. More black head coaches, more representation, and I think most importantly for me myself, I played football, and the type of coaches which I never liked were the coach who's had never played the game, had never played the position. The coaches I always respected the most, that I always held dearest, were the coaches who played the game. And you played the game at the highest level, Dave. You've won a bronze medal nationally for Algonquin College, my alumni. You know what I mean? My alma mater. You know what I mean? And I was the home announcer for that season. No big deal. But what I will say is Dave, it's beautiful to just see your progression from being a player, from someone who came from Montreal all the way here to Franco, where there's no ballers. Shouts out, you know what I mean? Yeah. Manny Fresh, Encino certified, you know what I mean? Honorable mentions. And then all of a sudden winning a national championship not winning a bronze in nationals as a player, to all of a sudden winning a national championship as an assistant player. That's a beautiful journey to see. And honestly, I think it's great because for future coaches or players who want to be a coach, and when you're coaching these kids, you're giving them real life experience. Yeah. You've been there when you're down 3 with 1 minute to go in a championship game. You've been there when the player you're guarding is dropping buckets on your head and you have to strap down. So you're able to really coach these players, not through the situation as a coach, but mentally as well. And I think that's the difference that makes a coach from a good coach and a great coach. And Davey, it's great to have you here on Straight Facts. And thank you so much for being a guest on our show.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
It's beautiful to have you here always.
Action. Straight Facts in the building. We got your boy Ace in the building.
Sosa in the cut, back at it again. We are here.
Yes, sir, with the one and only Coach Davy.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for staying with us here. And then we'll keep it rolling.
All right, let's go.
In addition to winning a championship, does your team have any other goals, and what are they?
At Carleton, guys, obviously university basketball players, they want to get to a pro level, right? So I think the main thing for these guys, and the way we train too, is obviously we want to win, but again, our main goal is to make sure our guys are successful after those 5 years, right? So again, we make sure the guys are ready for the pro level, and when it's physically or mentally, so that's pretty much one of our main goals too.
That's very big. Preparation, right? I heard a lot of preparation in your last answer, should I say. So tell me, does your staff prepare differently for practices than for actual games? And is it the same for players? Would you think?
For coaches, obviously, our head coach has pretty much, he has a prep for all of us, right? So make sure that we know what to do and all this stuff, right? So obviously we do film, we do a lot of stuff pre-game, right? Just to make sure that we're ready for, to lead our guys, right? And our players also, we do film sessions, but they have their own time, right? So they can listen to music, they can watch film, they can do their own thing, right? So because everyone has a different way of getting ready for stuff, right? Yeah. So again, it's, obviously as coaches, we make sure that our game plan is on point, that we didn't forget anything. Sometimes when there's injuries, we make sure that, again, if there's one guy missing, then we're good to go, right? So.
Yeah. Now, the good news, you're not coaching Allen Iverson, right? So practice and players, right? Yeah. Do you see it's as easy for players to get ready for practice as much as to get ready for big games or just regular games?
I think practices are harder. We make sure that we actually competing, because again, we're really hard on ourselves. And not just on the players, even us as coaches, we work hard, right? So again, a lot of people think players are working hard, but us coaches too, right? We work hard. So again, practices are really tough. We make sure that we're always on point, especially knowing who we're playing the following game. We want to make sure that our game plan is good, our guys are ready to go, and that again, that we put our players in the best position, to be successful.
Totally hear you, Coach.
With having a good game plan in mind, how do you prepare for playing against the worst team?
We don't change it, and I guess
Same game plan?
same game plan. I guess that's why we are who we are, right? So again, we don't change anything. We don't see people as a shitty team, or a good team, right? So again, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
What about players? Do you think players? I mean, you're a former player yourself, so do you think sometimes as a player it's easy to get comfortable? Like I'm gonna get a 40 piece today and maybe don't stay the extra hour for practice.
I think a lot of guys, sometimes it's in the back of their mind, but they know what's the main goal, right? The ultimate goal is not, we gotta treat every game like it's a championship game, right? And again, the mentality we have right now is to make sure, and also it's at a pro level too, right? Pro level, you can get fired after 2 games,
100%.
right? So they don't play around. So again, that's why we make sure that our guys, they're mentally prepared, and they know that we don't take any teams for granted.
So I would imagine that the culture overall within the team is highly regulated, and they have this high-end sense of work ethic. With that being said,
Yeah, for sure. Again, and everything we do, like on the court, it's not just on the court; it's off the court too, right? So again, we'll make sure that we're not only building basketball players, but we're building men, right? So again, I think that's a big thing too. So a lot of people get caught up in all the championships and everything, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we build character guys.
Right.
Obviously, we pick the right guys to be part of that program, right? But at the same time, we want to make sure these guys are ready for what's next.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's big.
transition to life overall.
Exactly.
That's big for sure. Building character. Let's switch it up a bit. Tell me, who would you say are your top 3 Canadian hoopers right now, professionally? Be very careful. Everybody's listening.
Wow. So
You got a lot of options. You said Jamal Murray, of course. I was
Jamal
hoping to
Murray,
hear Jamal Murray.
for
No
sure.
disrespect. What about I'll let you go. I'll let you know if you're disrespecting anybody. Go ahead.
So Jamal.
You got two more. Two more.
Two more. Huh?
Two more.
Oh man, that's a pressure.
No order. I mean.
Pressure. Honestly, I would put Shea. Gilgis Alexander.
Shea Alexander.
Again,
OKC.
because
Okay.
He's on the come up.
All right.
And honestly, I'm gonna have to put Lou Dort.
Oh, of course. Where you from?
I'm from Montreal.
Of course, he's gonna rap for the Montreal guy, right?
I gotta go for Montreal.
You gotta go for Montreal. For the Haitian, it's a double whammy. Montreal guy and he's a Haitian guy, Lucas.
That's my top 3 right now, man.
You don't even have A. Wiggins. He's playing in the finals right now.
Yeah, you know what? He's probably 4th, but I have to go with Lou Dort, man.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not mad at that. He's killing it. He killed it on James Harden a few years ago in the bubble. But we're gonna stay the same line. The same spirit, right? We're gonna keep it fun. No real answers, right? So let me ask you: who would you pick for your starting 5 of all time, and why?
MJ.
Okay.
Obviously, he's MJ.
All right. I don't think anybody will question
I
that.
don't think I have to say anything
I
else,
don't
right?
think anybody. Please.
Shaq. Because
Okay, you need a big man?
Need a big man.
Yeah.
I'll put Katie.
Do you think Shaq can hang in the new NBA?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know
Okay.
what? Guys will have to guard him.
I'm just asking. I'm not mad at Shaq.
Yeah.
Of course, it's freaking Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, and the
Okay,
thing is,
KD.
Shaq in his prime, people keep forgetting that guy can move, man.
Yeah.
Right.
That guy can move.
They
So
will
again,
move still.
that's the thing. Those young kids don't know, right? You see a guy he played for Boston and blah blah Cleveland, but nah, Shaq back in the day he was
Yeah.
a problem.
No, no, for sure.
Orlando.
So Shaq, KD, MJ, I would have to put Steph, man. You know why? Because
Hold
again,
on. That means that you left off Kobe or LeBron.
Curry.
Let me tell you
Go
why.
ahead, Coach.
Steph,
Go ahead,
because
Coach.
Hey, I'm putting the ball in MJ's hands, right? And there's no way people are gonna double this guy,
Yes.
right? You got KD on one side, you
It's
got
too
Steph
much.
on one side, right?
Yes, sir.
And you got Shaq inside. So now the 4th one, man, that's gonna be a tough
The
one.
fifth one.
The 5th one, sorry,
Yeah.
5th one, because I'm gonna put KD at the 4. That's why I said 4th. Man, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
Wait, regardless of your answer, there's gonna be problems.
Yeah.
Definitely, 'cause
Can't please everyone.
Yeah, I can't believe
I
that.
know, that's the thing, right? It's only 5, right? So
Yeah.
right now, I guess I would just say, you know what, Kobe, man.
Kobe.
Yes, Kobe, because again, I know this
Back
guy's
then, bro.
compete, right? These guys would not allow his team to lose,
Yeah.
right? Jordan too. So again, we
mentality.
have these guys on the team, and Shaq too.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't
mentality.
think you can touch this, guys.
Coach,
I
the
think
way
that-
you explained this, I cannot be mad at that. I mean, you're talking about the Carleton program so much here. We're very honored to have you here. And
Yeah.
all I know about Carleton is they work very hard. They put in extra hours so that you pick Kobe.
Yeah,
It makes sense, right? It's that mentality.
yeah, exactly, man.
Mamba mentality,
Very
right?
contagious.
For sure.
So, if you could pick any NBA team right now as coach, which team would it be? And
Miami. I'll pick Miami.
Miami?
Why? Because again, I'm a big Pat Riley fan,
why? Yeah.
and I think being able to
Basically, Jimmy Butler would have played at Carleton.
yeah, that too.
I mean, his
Obviously,
mentality,
yeah,
right?
the mentality, the way he plays. You know, he's again, it's his story. Most people don't know his story, man. He didn't have
It's
any
a big story.
scholarships. He was like sending like resumes at McDonald's.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
It was crazy, right?
Yes,
So
Ended by his
story.
mom.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So again, the story, like his whole story to me
Very
is
compelling.
impressive, right? But again, just like being under the wing of Pat Riley would have been amazing, right? And also Miami's Miami, man. Come on,
Yes.
man. The weather,
You
everything's
can't go
nice,
wrong with
right?
that one.
Texas, come on, man. So,
You sound like Stephen A. Smith.
but no, for real, it will be Miami for sure.
For sure, for sure. Now I'm putting you on the spot again, Coach.
All right.
Your Mount Rushmore for coaches, right?
Okay.
Coaches.
Coaches. Okay.
Sport. In case you didn't know. Mount
Yeah, yeah. I
Mount
know.
Rushmore sport.
Yeah. That's easy. I got Chuck Daly. Again, most people don't know Chuck Daly, but
Chuck Daly, yes.
Dream Team,
Mhm.
1992.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. The Bad Boys, obviously.
Yeah.
Honestly, like people don't like it because they're just beating the heck out of people. But
Yeah.
hey, to me, it was impressive. Especially when I was young, I was like, man, these guys
Yeah.
are just crazy.
Bro, even when I even read about a team that Jordan couldn't beat,
Yeah.
right? I was amazed.
Yeah, and he came out with the Jordan rules too, right? And they're
Yes,
just
sir.
beating him up, right? So Chuck Daly, Pat Riley against.
Pat Riley.
I'm a big fan of the Showtime Lakers.
Mhm.
So again, the Magic Johnson and Lolo and all their fast breaks and
Yeah.
stuff, right? So
Great coach.
Pat Riley, third Greg Pop. For sure, again,
Have to put Pop
Yeah,
in.
what he did with the Spurs. I know people are saying Tim Duncan and all this stuff. No, it's still impressive,
Yeah.
right? So, and then fourth,
Big one.
I would have to say Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr.
Yes,
Steve Kerr?
because again, you look at what he's done with Golden State, right? A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Mark Jackson."
Yes, I was gonna bring up Mark.
But then again, he took this guy to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Now as a coach right now, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's not all about X and O's. It's all about managing egos, right? Managing like people, different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what he's done and changing the offense too is big, and that's what pretty much made Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, right?
Who they
So
are.
yeah, exactly. So
Work
to
with
me,
the
that's
Steph
why I'm
and
putting it
that.
as fourth. I know.
Yeah,
it's
I was very
it's-
surprised you didn't put Coach Smart. Very surprised you didn't put Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Coach Smart, it's okay. He still loves
He
you.
said NBA, so that's why. He said
Did
NBA.
I? It's
Yeah.
okay, but
So
if you thought it was
NBA, so-
NBA, but that's fair.
Tell
That's
me all
fair.
your coaches, and I got a whole different list, right?
Okay, that's fair, brother.
But,
Maybe-
yeah.
yeah, no, I hear you.
If you could have been mentored by any NBA coach, which coach would it be
NBA coach right now?
right now? No, not just right now, actually. You know what? You get to choose.
Then I'm going Pat Riley.
Yeah?
Against Pat Riley is just the way he built the Lakers. I'm not a Laker fan, which is hard for me to say, but you know, just the stuff that he did, man. The Magic
Right.
Johnson, the Kareem, you know, all these guys. To me, what he did was pretty impressive. And again, the whole mentality. You know, he doesn't take any shit from anyone, right?
Yeah.
So again, and what he's doing right now in Miami is pretty good too. So definitely Pat Riley.
Let's talk about NBA expansion in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Which city do you think deserves it and could support it? I mean, there's a few candidates I think that are obvious, but if you had to, you put on your David Stern hat, right?
Yeah,
And you think about an expansion team here. What city are you picking?
Montreal.
Montreal.
No doubt.
Okay.
Again, I think that the city's
Yeah.
big enough,
Mhm.
right? We got the facilities, I think, in place for it.
You definitely.
And again, I feel like right now basketball is growing, right? Everyone loves basketball. It's really popular now, so I think definitely Montreal would be
no,
could take it.
no love out west. Calgary, Vancouver.
Again, I'm from Montreal. I got the city, right? So,
Very biased.
I got, yeah.
Shout out to Lulu Dog. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Okay, your favorite basketball movie?
White Man Can't Jump.
Oh,
Oh,
classic,
I gotta go with
classic.
that because again, I grew up I can't remember. I was like probably 7, 8 when I first saw it. I was like, man, that was so impressive, man.
Yeah.
It changed my life in many ways, right? So,
Yeah.
but no, that's definitely my go-to movie when it comes to ball and stuff.
I was sure you were gonna say Coach Carter, Coach.
No. I don't know why I didn't really like it because I guess because because a lot of coaches were like, yeah, you know, acting like they were Coach Carter, right?
It's only one Samuel.
Yeah, I was like, what?
It's not them. It's not them.
Yeah, exactly. So
Saying in movies. Go ahead, Sam.
I was gonna say, actually, what do you guys listen to overall for music?
just myself or just like,
No, as a team, like to get motivated overall. What's the pump up like overall? Because I know in football we listen to a lot of hip hop and we get ourselves motivated and ready to get out there. What do you guys listen to?
we don't do that at Carleton, man. Like
No.
players do it, they do it themselves.
I was gonna say.
I listen to my own type of music. I know head coach Taft does his own thing. We all have our own routine, right?
Yeah.
So players, again, like most of them, like in the locker room, you hear like a lot of those new guys, Young Boy,
Yes.
21 Savage,
Yeah.
all these guys, right? So
That's what's in that.
I don't know, man. I just the first names that came up, right?
Yeah.
But no, myself, I just listen to my own type of music. So yeah.
Fair enough.
For sure. And then, we know about the CEBL, the newest Canadian basketball league in Canada.
Yeah.
And J. Cole was actually playing for the Scarborough Shooting Stars, right? So tell me, recently he's left the team for touring obligations.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Do you think it was a legit stint? Do you think J. Cole was worthy of the spot? And what do you think it did for CEBL overall?
I think it was a mix of both when it comes to if it was for publicity or if it was just for him to play, right? And I think he's always shown that he wanted to play ball, right?
Yeah.
So again, I think he
Bigger
wanted,
Rwanda.
yeah. And at the same time, it's big for the league, right? And I know I was checking Twitter and it's like J. Cole, it was blowing up. It was going crazy.
It was
crazy,
blowing up
right?
for real.
So I mean, it definitely helped the league. I like the way they did it. And again, I'm kind of happy that he actually got to score.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, like if he was playing games and he
yeah.
didn't score anything, then that would have been a problem, right?
Shout out to the Cole world, J. Cole.
Yeah,
You already
exactly.
know, averaging 2 points, 50% from 3. That's stuff still.
Yeah.
50% from 3. Now, Coach, you're a former player. I'm sure back in the days you used to talk when you used to play ball. So let me ask you, one-on-one, can you beat J. Cole?
100%.
Beat right now in the game today, right now.
100%.
100%. You could beat J. Cole one-on-one.
100%.
What are you going to do?
Wow, hey, name it. Shot in his face.
In his face?
Cross him over. Spin.
But J. Cole's a little skinny. He'd probably go around you.
That's fine.
Are you
That's
big
fine.
Yeah.
ankles?
I'm too slow right now, but I'll definitely post him up.
What if he keeps raining shots on you?
Oh, I'm hitting shots for sure.
You're hitting shots?
Sure. Oh, I don't know. That would take a lot of prep, man.
Okay, I love the pop. That's what I wanted to hear from you, Coach.
I would have to stretch my
J. Cole don't want none of that sauce. Got it, Coach.
Yeah.
It was very good to have you. We're
appreciate it.
honored that you came in the vault, straight facts.
Yeah,
And it's a wrap. Sam, take it away.
Straight up, straight facts. You already know. Back at it again. Thank you so much for having us.
Straight facts. I got my boy Davy saying this here.
It's all big Candid, you already know. So yeah, what's going on, man? What are we talking about right now?
We got some couple of questions here today. One question that I'm thinking about here is Steph Curry top 10?
Top 10 what? Point guard?
Or top 10 of all time, you would say.
At his position or just in general?
Just in general.
Yeah, I'll let the coach, dive into that one. Go ahead.
I would say top 10. You know what? Probably, man.
Who's your top
15.
Top 15?
Top 15, because man, again, top 10. That's big.
That's true.
That's big.
Are we talking about just in terms of stats or what is his accomplishment? Or what he's done to the game? Like, what are we basing this on? Like the top 10?
Like the way he impacted the game for like in general, or would you say like he impacted the game more than Kobe, for example?
I would put him in the top 10 if you're talking about based off what he impacted the game, because like you said, today players are not doing layups when they're on fast breaks. They're straight going to the corner or popping the 3 from half court, the logo. The game has evolved now. So now it's like even the NBA, they got rid of the 24 shot clock after you shoot the ball. Once you shoot the ball, it goes down to 14 because they want to be at a faster pace, more scoring. So now everyone wants to shoot like Steph Curry. Steph Curry pretty much has revolutionized the game. That now, for example, as long as you have your form
Right.
and you're good, you have good balance and stuff, you can still play along in this game because it doesn't take you to be dunking. It's just like your motion, your wrist, and your repetition. So I think in terms of that, yeah, Steph Curry is definitely top 10, in my opinion.
What do you think, Coach?
I mean, if you talk impact, then for sure. I'd go as far as saying like maybe top 5, right?
Right.
Impact, because again, like, you know, to me, when I think impact, I'm thinking about Michael Jordan, right? MJ, obviously everyone wants to be like Mike, right? Then you got, to me, Magic Johnson, right? Came in and he made passing look cool, man. So again,
That's true.
a lot of people were like, you know, trying to do the no look, right? Then to me, obviously Kobe, just the word Kobe, you know, you already know it's a bucket, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, and again, I'll probably say Shaq, because again, Shaq, the thing is, again, me being kind of old school, you know, Shaq again, first one, like he was rapping, everything was cool with Shaq.
Yes.
Everything, right? And even the dunking, you know, everyone wants to dunk, lift up their feet. And
Chamberlain as well.
Will to me is like, I don't know, man. It's again, I'm still kind of mad that there's no footage of that 100-point game, so I can't give it to him, man. Because again, there's everything else but that. I mean, like,
And
come
also,
on, man.
like, Will did lose a lot to the Celtics, right? He was on those Jerry West teams where they did lose a lot in the finals. So I know he was a dominant player, but he didn't get the job done as much as he would like to. So when I think about Shaq, I think Shaq, the only asterisk I feel on his career was just that sweep against the Rockets. But outside of that, I think Shaq was the most dominant player because, yeah, it was just sad after like Nick Anderson missed 4 free throws. But it wasn't just that; it was just the whole game. But it took the momentum, right?
Yeah.
And it never recovered. So I never thought I would see Shaq get swept in the finals, but it happens. You know?
The other topic I also wanted to talk about is after July 2nd, the Pelicans have a big decision to make, right? Are they gonna sign Zion to that max contract? What do you think, Coach?
I think at this point you don't have a choice, right? You kind of like you're locked in. You don't have a choice because again, like now.
You always have a choice, but
I mean, you do. That's true. But at the same time, looking at it, right, top pick, right, all the hype, right, and say that you let him go,
Right.
if you had like a sign and trade or something like that, then he stays healthy and then goes off and just destroy people.
But how many games did he play last year? Like less than 40?
He didn't even play. But the
I
thing
didn't
is,
play.
like I agree with him. He has no choice. It's like a leverage, right? Because you had the number 1 pick, and you decided to take him over John Morant. So now if you get rid of him, and you had the chance to have John Morant,
Right.
the whole organization looks foolish.
It's
right? So,
$181 million, guys.
I understand, but that's the time today, you know.
But and the other thing is the Pelican is also they could be definitely a playoff team, right?
Yeah,
They have
sure.
C.J. McCollum. They have what's the
Brandon
name?
Ingram.
Valanciunas, right? It's an impact player. And if you put Zion to this, that's a very nice looking team, I would say.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's probably another reason why they probably should give them that money. But obviously, I would put a lot of clause into it. Make sure you
That's
get.
tough. That's tough because with again, you know, guys, especially nowadays, right? Guys are sensitive, right? A lot of these guys are sensitive, so you might just walk, right? So again, I feel like right now these guys are trapped, right? So they have to give in to his demands, right?
He's definitely eating a lot of donuts, and that's probably one of the
But
clauses.
that comes to management, right? Like,
Right.
for example, like you said, if it's an organization and you know what your player is lacking, you got to put veterans on the team. Like, if you look at the Pelicans, who are their veterans? They don't have that many vets. That's the reason why the difference between the Miami Heat organization and the Pelicans. Yeah, you look at Udonis Haslem, he's over 40. He's not playing, but he's still out there in practice, training with the players, making them feel as if he's ready to get a few minutes. And if you see one of the oldest persons in the room working just as hard, even you know he's not getting minutes, who are you as a young person who gets the opportunity to play? So it just shows you the culture. And that's what's lacking in New Orleans, right? They don't have a culture, right? So I think Zion, you're worthy of keeping him, but you got to bring vets because you got to keep him in check, right?
That's true.
It's true.
And one topic that I thought was interesting to me is now I was looking at the first take and whatnot, and I heard that Anthony Davis didn't touch a ball for how many months?
Since April 5th.
April 5th. So Coach Davy, right? So let's just say if you had a player and say, hey, Coach Davy, you know what? I didn't touch a ball for a couple of months, right? And out of the blue, and he tells you this, how would you even look at him?
First, I would laugh. I would laugh because again, like you're a basketball player,
Right.
I get you need some rest, but again, you're a basketball player. Right?
He's
So-
a rich basketball player. Let's
Yeah.
admit.
So to me now, I'm starting to question like, does he love the game? Right? Is that the type of guy I want to have? Right? Because again, at the end of the day, these guys are all getting paid, but you want to win, right? So again, to me, it's just like you got to win, right? So if I have a guy, he's telling me that, coach, yeah, I've been shot a ball for like since like a couple of months, then I'm like, yeah, we got some issues, man.
So what would you do with the Lakers? Would you trade? Would you trade LeBron? Would you trade Anthony Davis? Would you trade Westbrook? Would you trade the whole team? How would you do it?
I think it's tough because LeBron does all the trading, right?
Tell him, awesome. Yeah.
So that's a tough part. Can't trade him, right?
That's true.
So yeah, I like that term,
Yeah,
GM.
yeah.
But the thing is at this point, can you get lots of pieces for Anthony Davis? I know he's still high level, but
Right.
he's averaging what, like 20 games, 30 games a year.
Correct.
Right? I might be way up, but he's not playing much, right? So again, to me, is like really a trade that other teams will go for. Maybe like a team, like a desperate team, like maybe a Charlotte or like different teams like that, they would go for it, but a contender, no, right? So again, I think it's tough.
Oh, I heard. So right before we let you go there, Coach Davy,
Yeah.
you were telling me as well that there's another match coming out with Kentucky there in Bahamas.
Yes, sir. So us Carleton Ravens, were going to the Bahamas.
Oh wow.
That's a nice
For
trip.
I think August 12th,
Right.
13th, not sure, to play against Kentucky.
Okay.
So again, that's it's pretty surreal.
Right.
Again, and again, I'm still in shock because again, I've never been to the Bahamas, right? So that's one, that's fun. And two, again, you get to see Kentucky on TV and you're like, man, you see all of the hype, see the coach Kelly Perry, you see different
Right.
things, and now you'll get to be on the same court and get to play against them.
And you also have to tell them that it's all paid by Kentucky, right?
Well, I think Kentucky's pretty much covering everything against, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty
Right.
cool. So again, it's surreal.
Well,
It's
that's
surreal.
beautiful, and that's good for Canada basketball, right? That exposure and those kids to get that opportunity to play with, NCAA players.
And
For sure.
Coach Davy, it was very privileged to have you here today.
Appreciate you for
I
coming.
appreciate you guys, man.
As a player, as a
Coach.
teammate, I appreciate
Way
you.
back, man.
We'll go way back.
Yeah.
And
What
that's it, man.
is that? What is that? Wait, what show you in?
What's what?
What show are you in?
What is that right
Oh
now?
man, we're straight facts. man.
Straight facts.
Honestly, I would put like Shea, Gilgis
Shea
Alexander.
Gilgeous Alexander,
Again,
OKC,
because-
okay.